It has been a while since I posted a news video on this channel, and that was for one really good reason. There's been no news, and I didn't feel the need to just keep posting a lot of tabloid speculation. We've been through that, and the news I'm going to be talking about today is finally something concrete, and it is finally something official. So jumping straight on, the other day, a couple of days ago as I record this, Amazon MGM Studios posted this across social media. It says, "The search for the next James Bond is underway. While we don't plan to comment on specific details during the casting process, we're excited to share more news with 007 fans as soon as the time is right." That was it. That was the announcement. But this is the first official news that we've had in months. We got the official news about the director, Denis Villeneuve. We got the official news about Stephen Knight being the writer, and of course the producers, David Heyman and Amy Pascal. This is all official news, and that is all we know about Bond 26 currently. However, there was an article on Deadline that expands on this somewhat, and it basically says the search for the new James Bond takes next steps as Nina Gold closes a deal as casting director. Now, Nina Gold is one of the biggest casting directors currently working in Hollywood, having cast such big, monumental projects as the recent Star Wars movies, Game of Thrones, The Crown, and quite a recent movie, Hamnet, which has just aired in cinemas fairly recently. So she definitely has a lot of bang to her name. She has a good eye for placing the right people in the right roles. And that is going to be key for the role of James Bond. As we know, there are certain aspects of James Bond that really have to be sort of hit and hit correctly for this character to work. Granted, you can focus more on certain aspects than others as the film dictates, but the actor pretty much has to be suave, has to be relatively tall, has to be dark, although Daniel Craig was blonde when he was cast, but there we go. And he definitely has to be sort of physically imposing to a certain degree, with the exception of Pierce Brosnan, but there we go. There are some slight deviations, but there are key aspects that we expect from Bond. Now, if the rumours that we've heard from the past have any amount of truth to them, and obviously we'll take everything with a big pinch of salt currently, then it does seem that the producers and director are looking for a younger Bond. So some of the names that have been bandied around, Callum Turner, Jacob Elordi, they possibly may be in the frame. But the fact that the article does say that the casting process is just beginning or has recently begun, it does kind of mean that a lot of the speculation and comments that we've heard from a lot of tabloids probably has very little truth to it, which we kind of knew anyway, but sometimes speculation can be fun. So now is the time really where we're going to start seeing, I think, some potential movement on the film. Denis Villeneuve is still currently finishing off sort of editing and finishing off June 3. But at this point in time, the script must be in a certain sort of decent state by Stephen Knight. And I'm sure that Villeneuve has had some input into sort of moulding it. I'm not saying that the script is anywhere near completely finished, but it must be in a place where the director, the producers, and now the casting director feel that they know what this Bond needs to be, and they're starting the search. So the next few weeks and months are definitely going to be pretty exciting, to be honest. It will be nice to actually get some positive news, and as I said, this is the first real news that we've had for months, really. But it is nice that we're finally getting some real official news coming through. So I'm excited. I am excited as to what this could mean, because once they've got Bond in place, they can start casting for other roles if the script is obviously ready. But Bond is the kind of key where they'll work the Bond girls, the villains, and everything around that central character. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping that we hear something in the coming sort of couple of months, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But it's going to be a long road. Production is not going to start until at least sort of the beginning or early 2027. So whether we do see a release of Bond 26 at the back end of next year. It's going to be cutting it pretty tight, if you ask me, the release. And I hate to say this because I was really hoping that we'd get Bond 26 in 2027. It's been so long since the release of No Time to Die, but Amazon want to get this right. They're taking their time, and I, for one, am not going to sort of complain too much about that, because at the end of the day, I want, and I'm sure you want, a decent 007 movie. And this is Amazon's first sort of go at it. They don't want to mess it up. So I think the fact that they are taking their time can only be a positive thing. And if that means that we get a release of Bond 26 in 2028, which is looking more and more sort of likely, then it is something that we're just going to have to wait patiently for. But when production does start ramping up, and then we'll start seeing set reports and getting official news, that is the time when we're going to get really, really excited. But that is our news. It's not a massive update, but it's something I did feel was worthy of me sharing, because Bond 26 is inching, albeit slowly, towards that starting block. And the next year, year and a half, is going to be really exciting once this production actually gets into full swing. So thank you very much for watching. If you do like this content, granted there hasn't been a lot over the last couple of months, with the exception of a couple of travel videos, which if you haven't checked it out, go and check out the Vegas video, the Amsterdam video, and the San Francisco video, because there was a good time to actually go and visit some of the Bond locations. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this production news. Is there anybody that you'd like to see in the role of Bond? I know there's a lot of people that are still wanting names that have been bandied around for years, since the Eon days. And there's certainly people that I would like, but I've got a feeling we are going to get someone fairly fresh. If you do like the content, hit that subscribe button. You know, it's free, it won't cost anything, and it will help this channel to grow. And as production does actually get into gear, we'll certainly be doing a lot more updates on the road to Bond 26. But thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.